you ever had that moment when everything just fell into place beautifully? Your focus was super sharp, your energy was on point, and your productivity just hit the roof. It's almost like the stars aligned just for you. So you then try and replicate the same thing that you did before. However, this time around, your energy is running on an empty tank. Your motivation seems to be fluctuating back and forth. And all of a sudden, you can't seem to get the same set of results that you were able to do previously. It can all tie in with this conundrum known as brain fog. And it is what a lot of people undergo. And I myself have just gone through it way too many times. What is brain fog? I hear you say. Brain fog is when you're in a cognitive dysfunctional state. What the hell does that mean? This is basically when you lack mental clarity, you're unable to focus, you're unlikely to recall things from your memory, and in general, you're just unable to concentrate. This by its own accord is not a major health issue and usually has a tendency of affecting us all at one time or another. If it is constantly reoccurring, then it might be worthwhile to get yourself checked out, as it could be a symptom of a more deeper underlying issue. For today's video, I'm going to be going through a few suggestions that can possibly get you over this stint and get you right back on track. So the first prognosis of a condition like this is to check up on your general health and well-being. Has your diet recently changed, your sleeping patterns, or even stress levels, as all of these things can have an adverse effect on your mental clarity. So my tip is to refrain away from those extra large meals, as this will make you feel drowsy and lethargic and will deplete yourself of energy as your body is expending energy trying to mechanically and chemically break down the food. Instead, have foods that are low on the glycemic index, as these foods will be empowering, such as fruits, nuts, and stay well hydrated. This is what will optimize your mental performance. Just like an athlete, you also need to ensure that you get enough sleep. So all in all, your body is in a state for peak performance. According to the University of Iowa in the United States, researchers have actually found that following just one session of exercise, that all of the participants showed a much more improved cognitive recall. And in fact, the elder patients showed a much more expansive ability to be able to retain information. Moral of the story, get some exercise under you. I am sure it will come to absolutely no surprise to you at all that we are living in the most digitalized era that mankind has ever faced. And this comes at a consequence because everything is gunning for our attention, whether that be our mobile phones, tablets, laptops, Kindles, even the TV. The thing is that this comes at a detrimental cost because our minds are constantly being overstimulated with the amount of information that we're taking in. It is no wonder that a lot of people are struggling to try and focus on one particular task at a time. So my strong recommendation is that you try and take regular breaks, and if you can actually help it, to try and avoid the use of these devices so that you can then develop the neural connections within your mind to be able to focus and maintain concentration on the task at hand. Now, this nicely leads up to my next point regarding subconscious distractions. I've gone into this a little bit more in my video on how to overcome procrastination, which you can check out from the link down below. Now, the best way of trying to demonstrate this is by using a practical example. So let's say you have an English assignment that's due in 2 weeks' time. Because you feel as though that is sufficient time for you, you put that on the back burner and then decide to go on with your day-to-day life. Now, let's also say at the same time, you now have a college application that you need to complete by a similar deadline. And again, likewise, you put that on the back shelf once again. So when it comes down to then focusing either one of the two tasks as you get closer to the time, when you're sitting down to focus or try and get on with that one particular task, your subconscious mind is going to be fluctuating between the two, preventing you from focusing on one particular task at a time. And this can create a lot of anxiety within yourself, preventing you from being fully productive. Now, when it comes to real life, it isn't as simple as these two examples. In fact, we can have a whole host of differing things that can add to this cognitive dissonance, i.e. brain fog. So the main thing that you should be trying to do is to try and prioritize your schedule, where when things come in, to try and get them completed as soon as they appear. And in that process, it will relieve you of the pressure and prevent you from falling into this rut. Now, my last and final tip is all about building a routine. Yes, I know that sounds dead simple. However, you can't really argue with the effectiveness of it. So if you're a morning person and then you decide that you want to shift your workload to the evenings, logic only tells us that you're not going to be yielding the same level of output. By building a schedule, what that does, not only does it enable you to manage your time a lot more effectively, but it also gets your brain into forming a habit so that it knows when it is time to focus and concentrate at a particular task. So in the long run, you'll be able to save a lot more time and be a lot more better in terms of your productivity and in terms of getting things done and out of the way. So giving you more time to be able to do the things that you actually enjoy doing. Now, I hope that you found some of those tips quite useful and you can go ahead and implement them into your own lifestyles. If there are any suggestions that you have, then please feel free to leave a comment down below. I'll be more than happy to hear what you have to say. My name is Amin and I will catch up with you another time.